I want to use this opportunity to welcome every one of you right now to this live broadcast. As usual, I want to just do a brief discussion with us on basically the first step to freedom. You see, we all want freedom, but we actually don't want to look into the details of the things we do and how we do them to be able to access what we want. And whatever you're doing in life, you must first get to understand how you need to do it so that you don't waste time. You just do it well. Understanding what you need to do and how to do it well will help you to secure time, will help you to maximize time, to prioritize time, and to do things well. So in the first instance, we must understand why we're doing what we're doing and why we want to actually get what we want to get so that we can be free. So on this note, we will be going on another dimension on our pattern of broadcast and how we're going to be approaching these things, the knowledge we're going to be passing across so that our people begin to understand basically why and what we need to do and why we need to do them and the reason why we need to do them. Not just jumping around anything, jumping around any idea that comes and just holding on to anything that we are told and just believing in anything and just contributing to anything. No, but doing the right thing and securing the right behavior that will help us to maximize every moment. Thank you for joining. Today's Friday, the 17th day of May 2024, and this is 18 minutes past 3 Biafra time, and I want to say welcome wherever you are. Just button, then of course share this so that other people can join and benefit from what we are going to be discussing today. We shall be discussing critically first step to freedom. I want to make you understand this, that the best way to appreciate yourself is to find out who you are. The first step to appreciating yourself is to find out who you are. You can't be there and not know who you are, and you go after anything that comes your way. When they say this, when Tom comes and says this, you jubilate around Tom. When Dick comes and says that, you jubilate around Dick. When Harry comes and says thus, you also jubilate around Harry. You must understand who you are to fundamentally understand the difference in information that matches with the understanding and the package of who you are. Because so many information are flying here and there all over the nations of the world. And all of this information require you to filter them. All of this information require you to understand them. All of this information require you to, begin to analyze these things so that you know what you are supposed to know and know the things you need to believe in and the things you don't need to believe. And based on the fact that you understand who you are, and then understanding who you are will help you to understand the information you need to grow people and how to find the right companion or the right relationship for your life. When I talk about relationship and companionship, I'm not talking about marriage, because sometimes when we hear relationship and companionship, anyways, we think about marriage. But marriage is important because anybody who is close to you should also have that compatibility with you. At the same time, even if you need to compromise in some areas and in some things that you do. But basically, we're looking at how we can maximize fundamentals, the factors that come our way so that we can be able to manage ourselves. But first thing you have to ask yourself first, the first things first, of course, first things first. What are the first things first when you talk about freedom? You have to understand the first things first. Now, everything I will be talking about from henceforth will be giving us perspective to how we can manage our lives, not just the life alone, but of course, managing situations and managing, how we operate as a nation, as a people, because nationhood is not in isolation. Nationhood is not just talking about nation. Just like when people talk about democracy, some people think that democracy is about voting. You see, that is why in Africa we are not going anywhere. We're not moving ahead because we keep having the same result at every time. In fact, the next government that comes becomes worse than, because you get more frustrated as a new government comes in. we get more frustrated with the new government that comes in because we think that the only thing that democracy does is to vote. And that is what the West, those who make us believe their own definition of democracy, that's what they want us to believe. They want us to believe that once you talk about democracy, once there's a vote, a vote, anything you do that stands as voting, once it is done, then you are already, a democratic people. You're already in democracy. And these are the things that they want you to believe in, and they want you to take as, you know, what they call democracy. But we know that democracy is beyond that. You know, democracy has to do with first the ideology of the people, the initiative of the people, the way of life of the people, the understanding of the people. So if you are going to talk about the way of life of the people, the ideology of the people, the beliefs of the people, and the notion of the people, then you must first begin with one person, because every people having notion, ideas, and all of that begins with one person having their idea individually, everybody having their ideas, their notion, their beliefs, and all of that. And then everybody coming with what is on their mind, coming together, whether you have been influenced or whether you have not been influenced, or you just generate this stuff and your side of you, the knowledge, mystery or mysteria, coming to juxtaposition it with what your mind will process, the information your mind will gather around, and then process it, and then utilizing it as a means of making out, whatever you believe in, and whether by influence or whether by, of course, derived information from the mind, So now, first, you begin with everybody's notion. Everybody brings their notion. Everybody brings their notion to the table. And then everybody look at what they have in mind. And then everybody says, this is what I have in mind. That one says, that is what he has in mind. The other person says, that is what they have in mind. And we reason it along with common sense. And then with that, everybody makes a decision that this is how we want to go, and this is how we want to do it, and this is what we want to believe in. This is what we want our cultural, idiosyncrasy to be. This is what we want to believe as a people. From on the auspices of these information we have, of these things we are agreeing on, we build a cultural background for ourselves, a cultural design for ourselves, and then we create our constitution, we create our laws, we create our rules, and all of that. So when you talk about democracy, definitely the truth about it is this: voting does not always mean democracy, right? You must understand this. For the fact that elections were conducted and people voted does not always mean democracy, because sometimes those who come to vote are either forced to do that or are induced to do that. Now, the real voting that is free and fair is when it is free because the people chose willingly. They were not induced. Majority of the things we see in the world today is about induction. Let me not say induction, because induction is not inducing, being induced. People are being induced, to accept to do what they are, what they really would not want to do, left alone. All of these thoughts are some of the reasons why we need to begin to look at things critically within ourselves. Now, I'm just talking about the election and voting and democracy. That's not the topic of today, anyways. We're not talking about that, but we're looking at first things first. You are the first thing in any struggle, in any activity, in any nation building, in any charismatic operation or charismatic belief, or in anything. You are the first person. So if you are the first important person, then what do you know about you that marries or joins with what somebody else knows about them, or whatever people think about themselves? And how do you bring what you know about yourself to quantize with what somebody else knows about themselves, so that we all can have a very formidable agreement? Because scripture says it, can two walk together except they be agreed. That means there's an initial agreement that prompts the activity or the act of working together, or even the arts of working together. Now, the act of working together and the art of working together, these are two different things. We can design the arts of working together by the laws and the rules we put, and the act itself is prompted by the art that we have put together. So we look at the first step to freedom as an act. I'm sorry, as an act that would define the act. I want you to understand this. The first step to freedom as an act that defines the act, right? So we are going to be talking about an art that will spell the process of our actions and all of that, right? So that is fundamental and that is important and that is very, very, very critical and crucial. So if we look at these now, these things, then we must understand how it flows. Because for me to actually have a formidable approach to the things I do in life, I must have a defined principle that determines how I operate, right? Sorry, I'm trying to send and forward some messages around. So I'm doing two things at the same time. So if I'm distracted and all of that, please bear with me, so that I don't, get you to, and all of that. So now, okay, let me finish this and concentrate with, so that we can do this. I don't want this to be long because this is an introduction of what we want to do. All right, I'm through. Let me drop it now. All right, let me concentrate. Now, when we are going to talk about, when you talk about people coming together to seek for a particular thing, because freedom is something we're seeking for, or something that we want, and whatever you want, you seek for, or whatever you want to achieve, you go for, right? So if this is, we are looking for this phone, for instance, and we want to get it, and this phone is like a value that would help us go to the next level in our lives, we must agree on what the phone represents. That means we must agree to what level or to what effect does this phone, actually, define what every one of us, whether two or three of us or four of us, represent. It has to. We must know what this phone means to us. And then at the point of knowing what this phone means to us, it only comes from the point of me understanding what this phone means to me and you understanding what the phone means to you. And then we're sitting down to now look at the common grounds to which the phone means to us, or mean to us, or the common grounds to which the phone is important to us. Now, that point of reaching a common ground or a common definition or a common understanding of what the phone means to us is the art that we put together, because it defines the program or the design of the things we would have to put together as a measure, as a check, or as a procedure to harnessing the information we have about what we are placing to the point of getting the phone to serve us. So, which means that the knowledge I have about what the phone means to me and the knowledge you have about what the phone means to you would now form the basis of the principles of the cultural disposition or the information that we would work with to define how we're going to operate using the phone. That means how you and I would use the phone. We're going to utilize the phone. So now this is also what defines how people, set the pace for themselves in a nation. First of all, as a person, what do you think about yourself? How do you see yourself in the light of what you think about yourself being useful to the collectiveness or to other people who are in the same boat with you? Sorry, not boat, in the same boat with you. So if we're going to rock this boat together, then I must define this thing. You must define, I define, then we reach a consensus. And that consensus help us to define, have a broad spectrum, and knowledge of how we are going to rock the boat, our destination together. How can you embark on nation building or freedom project without understanding where you're going? It's crazy because it makes no sense. You must understand where you're going. But to understand where you're going, you must understand who you are and what you want to achieve. Because um, if I want to buy a bag of cement, I won't go to a shop where I won't go to a hairdressing salon, right? If I enter a hairdressing salon to ask them for a bag of cement, does it make sense? It makes no sense. If I want to buy a bag of cement, I go to a shop where I know there's a bag of cement, there are bags of cement to buy from. If I want to, if I want to go to, um, if I want to go to Togo, I don't need to enter a vehicle or a plane that is going to China, because buying tickets, paying exorbitantly to buy a ticket going to China, no matter how much I pay for it, does not take me to my destination. So even if I spend so much to buy a ticket going to China, I still will not fulfill the purpose because my destination is supposed to be Togo. So even if I pay $1 million for the ticket, it does not give value to the ticket because the ticket does not represent my destination. We must understand where we're going. Where are you going? Where am I going? Then together we decide where we're going. Then we understand the tickets we need and the contract we need, or the company we need, the transport company that will take us there. And these things we call tickets, contract, transport company, and all of this stuff are the principles or the laws or the constitution or the things that we put together, the cultural activities and traditional precepts that put us in the guard and guide us. Listen, puts us in the guard is one thing, guides us. Because you can be in the guard and yet you are not guided. These are two different things. So if we're going to talk about the art and the act, then we must put in place the art, which is the guard or the safeguard for guardians to destination. This is very fundamental in anything you do in life. Fundamentally, the safeguards are the rules and laws and the cons and pros. You understand the pros, the cons, all of that. These are the safeguards. You understand? The pros and the cons tells you what to do and what not to do because they safeguard you. Now, they also guide you when you now take the act, when you now engage in the act. But on the first at the first point, they must first be set. They have to be set. Whatever you're doing in life, you must first set the pros and cons. You must design a structure. You must set the basis and the standard. You must set these things because they guide you in the act. These things you set help you design the art. Now, let me tell you what art is. Art is the professionalism that is in a particular faculty. The professionalism in, I'm giving you a very simple understanding of this. The professionality in a particular faculty. That means what makes a particular thing have its unique way of being handled or operation is what is the art. When you talk about martial arts, you have different types, right? You have taekwondo, you have judo, you have mixed martial arts, you have different types. You have different types. Each of these are different designs that will explain to you that particular art. There are some techniques you exude that when you exude them, they will tell you this is not karate, this is judo, right? That is the art, the professional makeup of a particular activity is the art. Now the art must be acted, it must be acted upon. The actions you take to implement an art is the practicality of expression. So these things are very fundamental. You understand it? So if you are going to talk about freedom in anything you do or gaining anything in life, because when you talk about freedom, you're talking about being successful. When you see a nation going for freedom, we want to gain our freedom. We want to succeed. That's what it means. And there's so many hindrances when it comes to pursuing freedom. When you talk about freedom, any principle I give you here is not just applicable to just fighting for freedom. It's applicable to life. So what I'm doing here is trying to give you analytical information that are practicable that will help you in anything you do in life, fundamentally, anything you do in life. And so you are going to harness this information and transmogrify them, exude them in the context of what you do so that you can succeed. Freedom fighting begins first with you and your understanding. But to understand you, you must understand your makeup. And to understand your makeup, you must understand your source. To understand your source is to understand everything. Because your source has the fundamental roadmap and the manual that has all the information you need in putting into practice the potentials that are inherent or that are in you. Some of you don't understand that you as a person and those things that you love doing and the things that are natural with you, the skills that are natural with you, or the gifting that are natural with you, are a clue to how you can fundamentally act in life. They are actually the arts in you that should help you act. I am someone, for instance, naturally, I am someone who is very passionate. And I feel very irritated when I see someone suffering. Or I feel very irritated when I see some, things going wrong somewhere. I feel very irritated when I see things not working. And I feel very sad when I see someone suffering. So when I have the means, I want to support, I want to do, or I want to prepare some grounds to help the person. It must not always be financial, because sometimes people don't require financial help at a particular time. They need to be taught how to exude what they have to get what they have to get in life. Some people think that whenever there's a need, all you need to do is give them money. You keep giving them money. No, it doesn't work that way. You must prepare the ground. So you must understand all of this stuff. So knowing this and having this passion naturally makes me understand how I'm going to operate in life. So most of the things I do in life has to do with impacting people and supporting people and helping people discover their future. So it has defined my life, and that is how I know my purpose in life. Now, but to help people, to fundamentally be of help to people, will be only conspicuous based on my talents and gifting. For instance, every one of us is supposed to affect another person's life. But to do that, you have something in you that is a potential that would become the tool. Some of you, I've heard people say that music is their calling. Music is only a tool to fulfill a calling. Some people say that dancing is their calling. No, it's not your calling. It is only a tool to fulfill your calling. I'll tell you what a calling is. Some people say, oh, acting is my calling. No, it's not your calling. It is only a tool. Anything that you see as a talent in you is a tool given to you by the maker to carry out a program that he has designed for humanity. So when you see yourself as just living to eat and drink and make money and go and cook and eat and drink and go and shit and eat and piss and bath and get married and get children and then get old and die, that is how you're going to live your life, then you don't understand why you are born. Because the truth about your birth is that you are called to fulfill something in life, and then you are given tools, like the talents you have are the tools given to you by your maker. So these tools become very instrumental to carrying out that program of solving this riddle that is posed before humanity through your skill. For instance, you can compose, if you're a singer, compose good songs, prepare good songs that will teach people that will encourage people, that will lift the spirit of people, that will do so great things in the minds of people, that when people hear your voice, they feel elevated in life. That is a tool being used to lift the hearts of people for the purpose of positioning them in the line of their joy or in the line of what the Maker has created them to achieve. Or is it dancing, or is it theater art, or is it writing, or is it speaking? As I'm speaking to you right now, I'm carrying out a program because I'm gifted in speaking. I'm a speaker, so I can speak and help to create ideas through my speaking in your mind, so that you can get these ideas by the notion of the spiritual that gives this information to my mind as I speak to you. Then you can utilize these ideas to fashion a program for your life, or to do some stuff and get some information that will help you go further in life. That is what the tool of speaking does. It's a tool. It's a gifting, but it's a tool. It's not my calling. I'm not called to speak. I'm called to actually support humanity, but I have to use the tool. So wherever you are working or whatever you're doing, you are actually using your talent to fulfill the activity of helping people and souls around. That is fundamental. Very, very fundamental. So I'm going to stop here now. I'm giving you an introduction of what we're going to be discussing from henceforth, because we're going to be looking at the first step to freedom. First step to freedom. First, you must free yourself by understanding who you are. We cannot be free as a people when we don't understand who we are. We must define who we are, because the only way you can know how to work with people and to work in confidence and courage. Scripture says, God was telling Joshua in the book of Joshua chapter 1 verse 8, he said, be strong and of good courage. Two things he told him: be strong, be of good courage. Now, to be courageous means that you're going to lose fear. Be not afraid. Don't be dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee wherever you go. That means you have a source, has all the faculty and the information and everything that you need to actually fulfill this life's mission. But he needs you to exude this talent and gifting, which one, the strength there is your talent. Two, the courage is the act, the action you put or you take using that talent. So when he told Joshua, be strong, that means he said, use your talent. Use every gifting I've given you. Use the tools I've given to you. Be of good courage. Take action. Be of good courage. Take action. Be not afraid. Don't be shy. Don't get yourself to think, oh, it's raining today. Oh, the sun is too high today. Oh, I don't think I can do it. Oh, I am tired today. Oh, I need to. Oh, no. You would always. Those are symptoms of fear. There is always a reason to fear. Oh, out there, people might want to kill me. Oh, this. No, you don't need it. You told him, be strong. First, identify your strength. That means your strength, your talent. Be of good courage. Take action on that strength. Be not afraid. Take steps without checking, without thinking of the risk. Because even as much as, in fact, when you think about the risk, the thought of the risk should be the reason why you should advance with courage. Because in the platter of reasoning or thinking about the risk, you think about the risk on the positive side, not on the negative side. This is the risk. This is the risk of doing this thing. If I spend this money now, this is what is going to, will I get it back? Okay, this is what I want to use it for. Or, oh, if I do this now, this is what I want to do. Will it profit me? Oh, if I do take this action, will it profit me? Now you look at it, okay, if it's not going to profit me this way, let me execute this other strategy and see how it's going to work. You must strategize. And he told him, don't be dismayed. There are people who would want to talk you down, who would want to make you go against what you believe, who would want to make you feel like what you are doing does not make sense. Those are the people that want to turn you down against your will, against what you have been called to do. He said, do not be, for the Lord thy God is with thee. That is your source, has designed it and has all that it takes for you to utilize what he has given to you to succeed. Wherever you go, go and read Joshua chapter 1 verse 8. That's a very fundamental scripture for anybody who is going to achieve anything in life. For anybody who is going to achieve anything in life, read that scripture. Joshua 1:8. It contains the fundamental principle to life, to achieve success in life. Because it talks about you, it talks about your talent and strength, It talks about your charisma, your character, that there's no fear and all of that. It talks about your reaction, your emotion, being dismayed. Then it talks about your source. The Lord thy God is with thee. It talks about your destination, wherever you go. Completeness of your functioning as a person for the fulfillment of your purpose in life. I will stop here for now, for today. And I will take us through this program. Hopefully, I don't know whether I can do it every day, but as much as I can, I'll make sure I am here to talk to us all. I want to appreciate you guys. Share this more to those who are not here, who are not informed that I'm coming live. Share it on all your social media platforms. Subscribe to this channel. Also like this, and also comment and ask questions on the comment section. Ask me questions. Any question you want to ask, I will answer you. I will answer you. Thank you so much, all. I appreciate you guys, wherever you are. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go through this again. You can download it and go through it again and over again. You'll discover that I've said so many things that are very catchy and very important to your functionality in life, as much as you are seeking for freedom. And I appreciate you guys. And I say, God bless you. Very good.